Warning! The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited, pre-recorded videos instead. Viewer discretion is advised. There we go. There we go. So, hello everybody. Welcome to another live stream, draw stream, whatever this is, for Wednesday. Yeah. So I guess when I was setting up the what is it? The live stream, the Streamyard backend. I realized that they were doing something new with Facebook, where Streamyard was now going to, I guess, like instead of doing a post, they're doing a something called an event. Like it creates an event instead of a post. And I'm just realizing now that, yeah, I have no post on my Facebook page. So, yeah, so give me a minute here. Of course, like I had to remember this right as I'm going live as well. So let me see here. What, yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to bother with that now. It's like, you know what? At least for next time, I know that I have to do a separate post on my Facebook so that everybody knows this is going live. Because to tell you the truth, I don't know if anybody sees the events when it pops up. So, so we'll worry about that on the next stream. It's like, there's a lot to do today. So, yeah, I'll worry about that instead. So, hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the furry animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales. And currently my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, which launches November 7th, 2022. Yes, I know, the body on the last campaign isn't even cold, and I'm already talking about the next campaign, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I keep forgetting I have to hit the... There we go. There we go. So we're all nice and pretty now. Yes, I am also co-host with Nita Lanning on the Rage Into the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday on the Indie Comics Network. And in the meantime, one of these days I'll get these overlays correct. In the meantime, you can read both my comics online at where? At Tall Tales, TAILS online.com and egoworks.com, EGOWRKS. And you can check out all of my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art, which also simulcasts through the Rage Into network. So make sure that you head on over to both our channels and you click like, subscribe, you hit all the buttons, smack all the bells, whatever you need to do to get the algorithm, make the algorithm gods happy. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time we go live. And especially on the Indie Comics Network. I keep calling it the Rage Into Network. Did I do that? No. Indie Comics Network simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So yeah, where we always have a show going live at least every day on that channel. So make sure you subscribe and all that fun stuff. So yeah, so I'm feeling a little distracted today because I kind of like am trying a new setup. I'm always trying to like optimize how I can do, live streams better. And it's like, so I have a kind of a new setup. I have two tables, which are now, I guess, like camera'd up or whatnot, so that I can showcase things better. And also, I kind of like rearrange stuff on my screen so I can hopefully. I don't know, just be more efficient. I don't know. I don't know. It's like everything's always an experimentation. So we're going to find out together today what works and what doesn't with this new setup. So yeah, so welcome everybody. It's like I see you, the one person who is currently watching me right now. Like I said, I know that probably not having a post on my Facebook feed is not helping. So it's probably going to take a little bit for everybody to get their notifications through YouTube to come on in. Oh yeah, details. Yeah, I know, really. It's like today's the day for detail. The devil is always in the details, right? I mean, so yeah, like I said, it's like there's just like, I'm kind of like moving stuff around, trying to make everything better here. So yeah, so what's going on today? So it's the and usually I'm in a panic, kind of like in a frantic mood at the end of the month because I'm trying to get all this stuff done and whatnot. But I don't know. It's like this time around, I'm a little bit, It's like ever since the campaign ended, I'm kind of like been feeling this very this I don't know, this like kind of like this malaise or something where I'm kind of like, I'm dragging my ass just to get stuff done. um I was talking about it on the vlogs on Friday. Was it Friday? Monday. Today is Wednesday. You see what I'm talking about? So on Monday, I was talking about it where I don't know. It's like this was like a pretty intense campaign for EGORAVEN, Air the First Unicorn Volume 1. And yeah, and that thing just exhausted me. It's like the second the countdown finished on that, like hit zero, I was just like, oh my God, it was just like a deflated balloon. And it never changes. Every campaign is kind of like this, but this one in particular was pretty intense. Like I said, it was my first campaign that made almost, made it to, well, it made it to like 8-3, I think we did. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. So it was the first of my campaign to do that. Oh, welcome, Cameron. Hello. You know, so it was my first campaign that did that much, and it's already started to put a lot of pressure on the next campaign, which, like I said, it's yeah, this body is not even cold, and I'm already, and I'm already knee deep in preparing for EGORAVEN issue 5. So yeah, so like I said, it launches November 7th, 2022. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the next campaign, although probably this is pretty much going to be the only thing I'm going to be talking about for the rest of the year anyway. So yeah, so if you want to, put a pin in that date, yeah, so November 7th, again with the overlays. Um, so yeah, but the thing is, though, I'm not going to be launching the actual pre-launch page until October 1st. I figured, just right now, I'll just mention it and whatnot, and we'll just wait until October 1st, which is in a couple of days anyway. Um, before I start getting into that cycle again. But speaking of the campaigns, so if you haven't seen my post on Facebook yet, everything for the Volume 1 trade campaign is out. So everything is at the printer. I've been spending the last couple of days, double checking, triple checking all the files, and then like slowly feeding everything to the printers, getting everything done. The stickers are out, the postcards are out, the art prints are out. I just sent the trade off today, this morning, so that's out. Yeah, and I have a couple of surprises also in the works as well that I'm proofing, which I'm hoping that everyone finds exciting once I get it. It's like I'm very excited about what I'm proofing, so I can't wait to get those in and show it to everybody. I think it's really going to make the issue 5 campaign special, and I don't know, maybe will this push it over, over the edge? It's like, will we be able to get the EGORAVEN issue 5 back, a little over 8, maybe 9, maybe? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say, I don't want to say anything more than that, because I don't want to jinx anything. I mean, the gods are fickle, and like I said, it's like this body isn't even cold yet. So it's like, I'm just looking forward to getting everything back. I already got a notice that the bookmarks, the paper bookmarks at least, I'm getting tomorrow. It's like I just placed the order for that yesterday, and I'm getting already the bookmarks have shipped. So I will either be getting that tomorrow or Friday, which is pretty exciting, because it's like it's when I start getting these things in that it really begins to feel real. So hopefully by mid-October, if not earlier, I'll be able to have everything, and then I could start getting everyone's rewards out. Luckily, everything is done for this campaign, even all like the sketch bookmarks and everything. So there shouldn't be any delays in getting all the rewards out. So I mean, my goal is to get everybody to get their stuff before the next campaign launches. That would be nice. So yeah, but that's the goal, just so I don't have 2 EGORAVEN campaigns overlapping, which is one thing that I was a little concerned about with this, with the way I scheduled these last 2 campaigns. Originally, on my original schedule, the end of the next campaign was supposed to be Tall Tales: The Peacekeepers, the trade that was going to end off the year, but when I was like really locking in the dates for stuff, I decided kind of like at last minute. I mean, I could have changed this at any time, but I kind of decided that I wanted to do 2 back-to-back EGORAVEN campaigns and end the year on issue 5. And yeah, so I'm going to find out, on the job, I guess you could say, whether this was a good idea, because it's like, I'm always afraid that I'm going to tire everybody out, with always talking about EGORAVEN and the campaigns and whatnot. I mean, I can't help it. I mean, the book just excites me. It's like that's just what it is. And as I finish everything, I just want everybody to know about it. But it gets a little I don't know. It's like it kind of concerns me a little bit, like, because especially right now, where it's like, oh, maybe I should have broken up the campaigns with a Tall Tales campaign, then start 2023 with issue 5. But the thing is, though, I think, now that I'm thinking back and I remember, it's like the way that I was scheduling it, because what it is that if I started next year with issue 5, volume 2 wouldn't come out until 2024. And I really wanted volume 2 to come out next year. So it's like, so this year you're going to have, so this year you're going to have issue 1, volume 1. Next year you're going to have volume 2, and then the hope is that I can get, like volume 3 in 2024, and then volume 4 in 2025, so that we're not waiting too long between volumes. I mean, we're talking about like, and in total we're talking about like 15, 16 issues. So yeah, so I'm just a little concerned about that. you know, but hopefully it all works out. You know, I mean, I think that with the response that I got on this last campaign, I think people are excited for the book, and you know, maybe putting out issue 5 in November, you know, kind of a little soon. Um, you know, maybe that won't be so bad for me. Also, because also the thing is too, is that I tried to to place that campaign like kind of like keeping it from overlapping for Christmas. You know, it's like it goes, you know, it's gonna go through Thanksgiving. But the thing is though, it's like I didn't want it too close to Christmas either because I didn't want the holidays to affect the campaign. So we're gonna, you know, we're testing out a couple of things with this. So I might have made a big mistake with launching issue 5 so soon, but you know what? We're going to find out because it's like if that's the case, then at least it's something that I could think about for the next, you know, for next year, and like and then tweak the schedule for that. So yeah, so what else do I have here? Oh yeah, so the other exciting thing that I have, I know that you guys, again, you know, this is the only thing that I talk about. I know that you know, I mentioned that I finished the novel that comes after the 15 issues, and I just finally printed out a first draft copy of uh of the book. Yeah, it's like, look, it's like I have the window open just to get some air in here. So if you kind of like hear anything, that's from outside. So, you know, actually, I forgot I didn't turn that on. Okay, so there we go. My light, my ceiling fan was on, but not the actual ceiling fan. Um, so yeah, so I printed out a first draft copy. I'm not going to look at it yet. I'm waiting for Nita to actually give the entire novel a read through first before I actually start before I go back to actually start tweaking, I guess you could say. I still have a couple of people that I want to read this. So Nita's going to be the first. She's going to read, you know, she's going to read this through. I'm going to make some changes based on her feedback, and then I'm going to pass that version on to the next person, and then see how far I'm gonna, you know, like how much editing I have to do on this. I mean, I've already skimmed it. I mean, I have a copy of it on my phone, and I'm constantly skimming it, and I can see like, and I've already caught like a whole bunch of things that I could change and tweak, and you know, like sentences could be shorter and I could be more clear with things, and it's more technical aspects of it. So for those of you who don't know, this is the first draft of my novel, EGORAVEN, Cult of the Wolf Witch, which is the story that comes after Heir of the First Unicorn, the 15 issue comic book series. And it's going to be a novel, an illustrated novel. Although it's like I'm going to have kind of like there's one chapter in here which I've already decided I'm going to kind of do it like manga style. So it's going to be comic book pages, but because of the format, I'm going to try my hand that, you know, kind of making it look manga-ish. I don't know if I'll be successful at that because it's a completely different type of art style and whatnot, or like, you know, different techniques, and we'll see how it goes. But let's just say one section will be a comic book. But it's going to be an illustrated novel. And yeah, this is my first draft. So I'm really excited to have this printed out already. So now all I have to do is just put this aside until Nita reports back with her initial findings for me to start making tweaks and changes to it. Although yeah, and it's like, and I really don't want to think about the artwork that goes in it right now either, because I mean, I do have the chapters that definitely each chapter is going to have, you know, its own like opening illustration or whatnot. But I just really don't want to get to that point until I at least have a second draft, you know, in the works. So it's probably going to take about a year for me to finish this. To finish the book completely, but I'm just really happy to see it in physical form. I don't know, it just makes it a little bit more real for me, so I'm really happy about that too. So, yeah, I know it's like, yeah, it's like just a little bit, right? Just a little bit, but like I said, it just gives me a chance to kind of like put it to the side and not touch it. Like even though I'm reading it on my phone, it's like I just keep things in my head. I don't. I'm not editing it. You know, I'm just like I'll wait until until I get your notes. Although I did catch two instances of me being inconsistent with descriptions. So yeah, so I have to also keep that in mind too. I think one was for eye color, and another one was just environmental. That there was something that I mentioned and then kind of accidentally changed it later. But I think there might be a way to kind of to kind of figure that in, that sounds kind of normal. I mean, but the eye color I have to keep consistent. But that's, you know, that's what happens, right? I heard that Robert Jordan had a problem with keeping his characters' eye colors straight as well. So, but you know, I don't want to, you know, I want to make sure I've already made a note for that specifically, um, to make sure that I correct that in the next draft. So, um, yeah. So on that note, oh, one more thing. I want to thank John Celestri for joining me and Nita on, you know, yeah, probably, right? Yeah. Um, you know, I just want to thank John Celestri for joining us on House of Bob on Saturday. We had a great conversation about both of our books. About, well, but mostly we spoke about Bloodwing Angel and the, you know, his comic Bloodwing Angel, which is on Kickstarter right now, by the way. So if you want to check that out, just look up Bloodwing Angel. I'll see if I can put a link in the show notes, or put it in the, or maybe if I need, I could put the link to Bloodwing Angel in the chat. Um, oh wait, do you even have? Do I have? I think you have a wrench in here. So if you can just put a link, or either that, or just DM me and I'll just put it somewhere. Um, Oh, there we go. So there we go. So Bloodwing Angel is in the chat, and like I said, I want to thank John Celestri for coming on, and we had a really good conversation for the whole 2 hours. I was really surprised, and I did some artwork on there, and yeah. So if you want to check that out on the replay, just look up the latest edition of the latest episode of House of Bob. I think the name of the episode is adults talk. It's like adults talking about adult comics like adults, or something. It was like something weird like that, you know. It's, you know, it was just a very interesting conversation about like the difficulties that we face in marketing books that are mature, not necessarily pornographic, but mature readers. But I'm going to have that issue later when I come out with House of Bob. You know, when I come out with EGORAVEN Whispers to Eros, which is the porn version, which is a porn chapter of EGORAVEN, because you know what? Screw it. It's like, yeah, I mean, look, it's like that's just a part of the story too, you know, and it's going to be its own book. So, so yeah, so, and how we kind of, and the challenges that we kind of face with doing a mature audience's book, and how, you know, it's a little difficult to market it in kind of like an environment where people either, it's like, well, either they want all ages or they want all out porn, but it's like they don't know what to do with the in between. You know, it's kind of like, well, if you're not doing all out porn, then why do you have to have these scenes in this? You could just do an all ages book. And it's like, no, that's not what I want to do either. So yeah, so like I said, so check out the latest episode of House of Bob with John Celestri. We had a good time. Yes, here it. Yeah, so this is the title you're looking for: talking about erotic art like adults. There you go. Yeah, and yes, and the episode did really well at 117 views. Usually it takes a couple of months for one of those episodes to kind of reach that many people, and already it's like we hit 100 views like not even like a couple of days later. So thank you very much for everybody who's enjoying um, the episodes. I mean, even a lot of the shows, this live stream too, have been doing very well in views. Thank you so much. I know that one of my previous live streams, holy crap, something must have happened and I ended up getting like almost 300 views on it for some reason. I didn't think I was doing anything special, but something pushed that episode. It's the one where I was flatting. I was preparing pages, EGORAVEN pages, to get flatted. I think it was like 2 episodes ago. And I don't know, for some reason, that episode was everybody was watching that episode. So I just want to thank everybody for supporting the streams. Thank you so much for joining. You know, it's like I'm really glad that you're enjoying what the streams and what I'm doing and what we're doing, as you know, and what the Indie Comics Network is doing. It's like Nita works really hard at trying to like get the algorithm to pay attention to us, and it's like I'm really happy that that's panning out. That's panning out. So okay, so we're just about hitting the half-hour mark. And and I know that all of you are here. If you're joining me, thank you everybody for joining. And I know you're here to watch me do artwork, not to hear me babble on about miscellaneous things, about the usual housekeeping. But you know what? That's what we do here. We do housekeeping and kind of get myself warmed up for the first half hour, and then I can set up, and then we can try this new setup that I have here to see if it works out better. So I'm going to run a couple of commercials, I guess you could say. And and then when we come back, we can start drawing. I'll show you some artwork, and then we can start drawing. So okay, so we'll be right back.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Oh, that would help if I turned my microphone on, wouldn't it? Okay, so here we are. So last we left our hero here, I was doing a series of sketch covers for the OSWALD Chronicles, which you can find a link to the campaign in the chat. It's in the show notes. It's in its last several hours. So of the campaign, it closes out on Friday. So you still have a chance to pick up the latest books. So these are the sketch covers for the previous campaign. Talk about overlapping campaigns, right? So on the last episode, I was starting to work on this particular cover here. So now, to put a little context in the weird imagery on these covers that I'm going to show right now. So when I do covers, especially for the Oswald Chronicles, because there's usually so many of them to do, I like to work with a theme for the series. So usually it's like, if I'm not just doing straight up portraits, there's usually a theme with the entire series of sketch covers. Because when you do about, like, I think that I must have done like 200 plus, I've stopped counting, sketch covers. So yeah, it gets a little difficult to think about what to do. So in this particular theme that I chose for the Oswald Chronicles, I took inspiration from the painting, The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. The original triptych is at El Prado Museum. And so I decided to base this sequence of sketch covers on this painting, especially, I guess it would be on your, what is it, on your right side, the dark one, the dark panel. So it's mostly based on a lot of the creatures that show up in that particular panel, but the overall theme of the sketch covers is the Garden of Earthly Delights. Although ironically, this first cover here that I was working on the last live stream, it's actually based on the Temptations of Saint Anthony, which is a different painting by Hieronymus Bosch, which is also at El Prado Museum. So so I decided that I was just going to do a series of covers with Oswald just adventuring through the Garden of Earthly Delights and all the weird creatures, Hieronymus Bosch creatures that he meets in his little sequence here. So this is the first one, the Temptations of Saint Anthony, which honestly, I'm pretty sure Saint Anthony is really happy that, he's able to chill for a change. Instead of having little gremlins like that bothering him, little demons. And then this is the second one. This is the second cover that that's part of the series. So here we have Oswald with that little lizard. You see, that's the thing. It's like Hieronymus Bosch. That any references to these paintings, everything. It's like all these creatures or whatnot. They're just referenced as demons. So they're all just like different types of weird demons. I guess we're just gonna have to leave it at that. So this is the second one that I did. So here's the third one. Here's Oswald with a bagpipe monster or something. Like, I don't know. It's like I said, it's like if you really look at some of the details in this painting, it's like, I don't know why Hieronymus Bosch is not considered like one of the first surrealists technically, but I don't know. I guess it's like there's rules to these artistic genres or whatnot that that certain artists fit in and certain artists don't. So here is Oswald with that bagpipe creature, and then here's another one. It's like, look, I don't even know what these creatures are. Like I said, it's like I just picked kind of like really interesting monsters from the painting, and like, okay, so these are just the things as he's going along on these covers. So we have this weird, I don't know, this guy with the thumbtacks. I don't know. It's whatever. And then we have an Oswald skating with that little duck thing guy. I don't know. There's a lot of ice skating in this panel. I think like the panel, that particular panel is supposed to be hell. And yeah, and I guess there's a lot of ice skating in hell, so yeah, so I guess hell really does freezes over, or at least enough for demons to go ice skating, because they do a lot of ice skating on that panel. And then it's like you have the demon in the background eating a giant strawberry, because especially in the center panel, strawberries is a very heavy symbolic fruit in the painting. So I figured, have somebody eating a strawberry in the background. And then here's another one. Here's the next one. So this is, if you look at that dark panel, this is a bird creature from, there's the human, kind of like, that's Hieronymus Bosch's self-portrait in the center of that particular panel. And then he has a platform on top of him. So this is the bird guy that's on top of that platform with a giant bagpipe in the background. So, here's Oswald with that guy there. And then this was the last one that I did so far. I have one more to go, which is what we're going to be working on. So here is Oswald hanging out with an assorted variety of these gremlins from the painting. So this is the last one. So all of these covers are going to be colored. So actually, I don't know. It's like I think this one, between this one, I think, and the St. Anthony one, I think those two are my favorites out of the group so far. So these are the covers that I started to do last week, from the last that I started on the last live stream. So eventually, no, it's like, so when I'm done with the last one here, I'm going to be coloring these, and then I can finally send these guys off to their brand new homes. Because like I said, it's like, after this campaign, I've just been really dragging. I mean, it's, because it's like when October 1st hits, I want to really start getting inking on EGORAVEN issue 7. And then get that to the flatters, because I want to get that done by October, so that in December I can hopefully start inking issue 8, and have that process going. So I guess it's like, this is kind of like the calm before the storm. So like I said, I have a new setup here. What it is that I have, I have this beautiful chair that works really, really well. Except the problem is that it's too low for this drawing table that this desk, that this setup is on. So it's a little uncomfortable for me to work on. So, because this gaming chair is low, so that you can work on a computer. So you can, be playing on a computer. So of course, computer desks tend to be lower. So what I did was I had another drawing, like a portable drawing table, a topper, that I put on my computer desk, and it's just the perfect height for the chair. So now I have technically 2 drawing areas. So what I do is that I put all the work that I have to work on, I put it on this desk right here, where you can see. So it's like I have everything out that I need to work on, so I could just grab it, or whatnot. And then I bring it over to the other table where I actually work on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that works. So here we are on my other table right now. So I'm going to be scooting my chair over and scooting my camera over. So, which is actually, a pretty, I'm very actually, so far I'm pretty happy with this setup, because now my desk is my drawing area is at the right height with the chair, so it's not uncomfortable for me. I don't feel like I'm kind of having to stretch up even with the booster pillow that I have on the chair. And yeah, so, and also all I have to do is just move the camera over like I did, and I can still see the screen. So I can still hopefully keep track of everybody's comments. When before, if I had to work on that other table, not only did I have, was it kind of awkward because I had to stretch up a bit, I had to do everything off of a laptop. I had to switch everything to a laptop so that I could still see the screen and read everybody's comments as I was working. So this way I don't have to have that other laptop on. So it's already making me think how to kind of like fix everything up, so maybe I don't need that laptop there anymore and probably use that for something else, and move it off the table and actually move some stuff around. But that's for another time for me to worry about. All I know is that right now I'm actually kind of happy with this setup. So here we are on the drawing table, and like I said, I have one more one more Oswald cover that I have to work on, and depending on how long it takes for me to do this cover, I might actually go ahead and do an ink in another comic book page. But let's get this cover finished first, and then see how the timing works. So this is the last sketch cover for the Oswald Chronicles for this series. So it is Oswald riding one of these monster things, and he's kind of playing a harp or something. It's based on, so instead of like drawing the full creature, so Oswald is kind of taking the place of that creature as he rides another creature. I don't know. Like I said, it's Hieronymus Bosch. Who knows what he was thinking. So this is going to be the last cover for this series. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and get the music started. So as always, if the music is a little too loud, just, if it sounds like because, I can adjust it in my headset so I don't feel like I'm yelling over it, but I'm not sure how you guys are hearing it. So if the music sounds too loud that you can't hear me, just comment, just leave a comment and I'll adjust the audio. But I'm pretty sure that this is okay because it was the same setting that I used on last week's shows. So it should be okay. But like I said, if it sounds a little too loud, just go ahead and leave a comment. So yeah, so for this piece, because of the type of paper that we're using, I don't use my RapidOGraphs on this, so I'm using my Faber-Castell Multiliners, which pretty much have been, in terms of having a portable set of multiliners, or just multiliners in general, because I wouldn't call the RapidOGraphs that I usually use, because I usually like ink my comic book pages with technical pens, but it doesn't do really well. I don't like the way it feels on this paper, so I use multiliners. And so far, Faber-Castell have been the Pitt pens, P-I-T-T. They have been the best ones that I have been using for a while. It's like, I know that I've done a series of videos trying to compare all of these pens and which one that I like the best. The irony of it is that at the time I was using I think I had said that my favorites were the Copic multiliners, the refillable ones, the silver ones. I think they're the Copic SPs. And I tried using them the other day and I just couldn't do it. It's like, I don't know. It's like they are no longer my favorite multiliners. These are. So I'm going to be Inking with these, actually, like, this is the number 3. So I want to do the number 3 first. So, and yeah, and what I like about these pens is that I guess they have actual ink inside it, like actual like India ink in them. So it pretty much acts the same way as my RapidOGraphs, but in a very portable form. At least, you know, because it's like the RapidOGraphs, they require a lot of maintenance. I mean, honestly, I don't recommend them for people to use. Technically, they're not supposed to be used the way I use them, but I use them anyway. Um, but they're, you know, because they're very messy, and especially if you travel, they don't travel well. Especially if you're going on an airplane. You know, it's like you really want to make sure that the pens are clean and empty if you're going to take them on an airplane, because yeah, you'll have them exploding all over you. But these, you know, like I said, I swear by them. I'm constantly buying them. Um, if I could buy them in bulk, I usually try to. I think actually I think I probably should place an order for more of these pens, um, just to make sure that I always have them on the ready. You know, so yeah, so already with this setup, um, it's a huge difference. I feel like I'm working in a more conducive setup, uh, than feeling like I have to go. I'm going out of my way for something for the sake of the live stream. So yeah, so that's gonna have me thinking a little bit about rearranging my desk space, or at least the surface. I'm not, I mean, the layout of the actual tables are fine. It's just what's on them, that's probably going to change because of this. Yeah, so Oh, hello, James. Thank you. Thank you. Thumbs up too. Thank you. The algorithm loves your thumbs. Oops. That's my timer. Getting in the way of today's sermon. Forgot his glasses. Oh, hello, Tyler. Yes, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Yes. Still can't believe it's the end of the month already, though. I mean, it's like this month just like flew by. You know, like I was saying earlier, I mean, usually at this point, I'm panicking, trying to get my to-do list ready for the next, for the upcoming month. But I don't know. It's like having a campaign end, you know, the way it did was just like very draining. And it's like, okay, you know what? Um, let me just worry about just getting the stuff that I have on the table done already. And it's like I'm not going to worry about a to-do list just yet. I mean, pretty much all my stuff on the to-do list that isn't really changing. So as long as I'm just, keeping consistent, hammering through it, I mean, I don't really need to update anything. So, which I think, I guess it's a good thing that I'm not worried about whether I'm going to be able to get all my stuff done. Yeah, because really it's like, in the end, it's like, oh, hey, Nick. Yeah, oh, me too. Me too. Let's see. Do I meet deadlines for you? Well, I mean, it depends on if it usually, I mean, kind of usually I do. Considering that most of my deadlines are self-imposed. I mean, if I'm doing like commissions for people and I tell them that I'm going to have it by a certain date, I'm usually good at honoring that. I know that I have one commission that I promised the person that I would start having sketches for them the first week of October. So that's something that I have to, get out as well. But for the self-imposed stuff, most of the time, I mean, especially lately, I've been pretty good at completing things when I'm supposed to. Although, in relation to these sketch covers, not really. I'm actually very behind on these sketch covers. Usually, sketch covers, I take a weekend to do it. At week most. But I don't know. Like this set, it has been like I think like what is it like? Yeah, like this campaign ended I think like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still working on them. It's like, actually, no, this campaign is from last month. It's like, I'm thinking, no, my campaign ended. It's like, and even then it wasn't like, it felt like, I don't know. You see my dates, my time, I have no sense of time now. Like this campaign ended like a couple of weeks ago, and usually I have these done very quickly. Like the campaign is long sent out. It's just 4 people that I'm waiting for. Actually, no, it's been about like more than 3 weeks, because it's like Yeah, no. Yeah, this I would. Yeah, this actually no. Oh my goodness, it's been probably like about a month. About a month, I think, almost. So yes, I'm very late with these covers. I don't know. It's like I just between um my campaign, running, and then it's like we took a week off to go on vacation and whatnot. It just was just like, I don't know. I just couldn't get my groove on these guys. But at least I'm ink. This is the last of the covers that I'm inking in, so at least that part is done, and then I just have to color them. So hopefully that won't take. Hopefully that'll just take one more week, and then I could finally ship these out. When it comes to the campaigns, so far I've been pretty close. I've been pretty good at making sure everything is completed when a campaign starts, if that thing is for the campaign. Although there was that short story, that the Oswald EGORAVEN crossover, that I couldn't get done before the campaign, so I took a huge chance and was working on it during the campaign, and I just was able to finish it, I think, like a week after the campaign ended. So it was just like, yeah, I usually much prefer to have everything done in advance, so that I don't have to worry about it, because I don't like making people wait for their campaign stuff. The rewards and whatnot. So, um, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call this cover done. Um, because in that way, yeah, because it's like, they're sketch covers. Most of the detail is gonna come in the coloring. So yeah, so it's like, you know what, I'm not going to like purposefully overwork this one for the sake of the stream. I have another thing that I can work on, you know to close out the stream. So yeah, I'm calling this piece done. So let me just, there we go. So finally I have all of my covers for the Oswald Chronicles inked out. So now it's just for me to start coloring them, but not on the show, not today. So usually I like to let them sit for a couple of days so that the ink really dries. But yeah, so here we go. So I can show everything off again. So these are the sketch covers that I've been working on since last week. So here's the one that I just finished. All right, so I'm going to put that, let's put them back on the shelf here. So here's the one that I was working on last. Yes, no colors for you. Not on this. Not today. Not today. Hey, Michael. Hey. And yeah, so we got that one. And then there's this one that I finished this week. Putting that away. And then this one should be an easy one to color. Obviously, not a lot of detail in that. Then there's this dude here with the thumbtacks in his ears. I don't know what that's about. Here's the skater guy. Here's this guy. And then here is the last one of the series of the Oswald in the Garden of Earthly Delights series. So yeah, so I'm going to be coloring those up this week, and keep an eye on my Facebook so that you can see when I upload the final pieces for that. So let's see, what do we have here? So I said in the description that I was going, if I was able to finish that in time, I was going to start inking an actual comic book page. So I think I'm going to hold myself to that. And here we go. So I'm going to be. So this is the page that this is from a short story that it's an 8-page short story from the EGORAVEN Tales from the Outer Kingdoms collection. And so far, what I've been doing with these short stories is I've been turning them into stretch goals on individual issues and then adding them to individual issues as a bonus for everyone who supports me on Kickstarter. And you get a special version of that issue with the short stories in it. And then it's like, because outside of the campaign, I reprint them without the story. So the idea is to get is to produce enough of these stories so that it'll be its own trade paperback. And what it is the premise of these short stories is that, you know, I have the 15 issues for Heir of the First Unicorn, the series 15/16. I'm not sure if I might have to add an extra issue at the end, near the end. And what these are kind of like the little side stories that didn't make it. You know, usually what I do is like when I was writing the story, I had all of these different ideas as to, like, you know, what, you know, just like little like, oh well, this, like, okay, here's a scene, here's a scene, here's a scene, and then the goal is I take all those scenes and then try to link them together in a coherent story. So that's what happened with Heir of the First Unicorn. Problem is that I had a lot of these scenes that didn't make it because it's either they're not really relevant to the main storyline. They don't really move it along, so they didn't fit in that narrative for the main story. So, but I really liked the stories because it's like, even though they did pretty much nothing for the main story, I kind of like them in a sense where they show off more of the characters. They're more like just little character vignettes. So I've been just putting them together, actually doing the short stories, and that's all they are. It's like they're just like, you know, like this particular story is EGORAVEN goes to the doctor. It's an 8-page story about EGORAVEN going to the doctor. I mean, it makes no sense in the main storyline, you know, but I thought it was a cute enough story that it should still exist. But, you know, but, you know, it doesn't fit anywhere. So I use these stories as stretch goals. And like I said, they will all eventually be collected in a trade paperback of its own. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. So, you know, so, and also the thing is though, oh, thank you. I like talking about my process. That's for sure. But yeah, it's like I was on Catch the Craze show the other day, and we actually talk a lot about my process, like how I think up these stories and whatnot, and that's pretty much how I go. I think of the cool scenes, right? Because it's like, even though it's a comic book, I kind of imagine the story like moving like an anime. I can see it in my head. So, and like with any anime, everybody has the cool scenes, right? So that's kind of where I started. Okay, what are the cool scenes? And then, of course, like I said, the idea is that how do I link these together, and not everything makes it. And but the thing is though also is that, like, I wouldn't exactly call this story a cool scene, as much as it was a funny premise that doesn't fit in the same, it doesn't fit in the story, but it's too funny for me to just let it, because it's about a unicorn going to a doctor. Why the heck would a unicorn want to go to a doctor, right? I mean, so it's just a ridiculous premise. It's a silly little 8-page story, and yeah, I didn't want it to go to waste. So yeah, so just another reason to make sure that you sign up for my mailing list. All the links are in the show notes, so that you don't miss any of my campaigns. So when I do produce the special issues with these short stories in it, you don't miss anything. Because it's like this is a collection that I really do think. I mean, I guess it's like if I have 128 pages, I could technically just print it at any time. The stories are not very, I guess, time sensitive, and they're not necessarily spoilers either. So I just haven't decided that part, because this is the type of book that I could imagine putting out after the two novels. Well, not two novels. It's like I haven't decided what to do with Whispers to Eros yet. I'm still kind of thinking about the format of that, because it does have a lot of prose story in it. That particular one has a lot of prose stories in it. I have a comic book. I have a comic section that's in it. But I really like the format that I'm using for the novel, for the Wolf Witch novel, which is the next one. And I'm kind of wondering if I should rework that book so that they actually match format wise. I mean, granted, it would require me to redo the comic story that I made for that book. Oh, well, we're working on it. It's like whatever comes up on that playlist from Epidemic Sound, that's what we got. Oh, is he another one? Oh, okay. So afterwards, I'll go back and I suck at maintaining my friend request list. If you all haven't noticed already, so now for these pages, this is where I use my RapidOGraphs. It's just a better, that's just what I use to ink my my comic book pages. Sometimes I might use the pick pens, but only that's only if my thinnest rapidograph is acting up. So my thinnest rapidograph has a tendency to clog a lot, and sometimes I only find out when I'm about to use it. So and then if I need it, then I'll just go in and oh, there we go. Okay, so I'll make sure to find his friend request and and let him into the club. Even though it's not much. My Facebook page is not much of a club. There's nothing private on it. So if I haven't accepted your friend request yet, just follow the page anyway. You're not missing out on anything. All my posts are public. So Yeah, but you know what? It's like I'll make sure to look up Michael's friend request. So yeah, so what it is with these two novels. So and that's also another thing. I think this is how far ahead my brain is with all this. Um, so Cult of the Wolf Witch is actually part of a pair of novels. Well, part of a pair of books I want to release at the same time. It's going to be like together on its own. It's going to be together on a Kickstarter. And uh, later on, after this series, although I haven't decided yet, it all, it all depends. This is my if everything works out schedule, type of thing. Um, so I have these two books, Cult of the Wolf Witch and Whispers to Eros, which are the two books that introduce Eros and Loki into the EGORAVEN canon. Although technically Loki is canon already, he was a he. I introduced him in one of the short stories that appeared in a previous campaign, and he's especially canon if you follow me on Facebook, both him and Eros. But these two books introduce the two gods, and I wanted to release them at the same time because of that, to kind of like fit a theme. Like it's called the Divine Duology, that I wanted to do the two books. Um, I just have to just commit to the format, to the Whispers to Eros book, because like I said, if I decide to do it in a format where they both match, I have to redo one of the stories, because one, the original comic book pages, I have I think it's like 12. I have a 12-page story that goes in that comic. Is it 12 or 8? I think it might be 8. No, it's 8 pages. It's 8 pages. And it's in full color. Problem is it wouldn't fit the format, because those books are getting printed in black and white. So this is obviously, it's done for color. So I might try to do it manga style and try to redo those pages so it looks better in that form, in the novel format. um but like I said, I haven't decided yet. And then maybe uh print either offer up the original color version as like a PDF, or as kind of like a supplement, like kind of like a little separate supplement to that, just so you can have both in the color version and the black and white. So um but yeah, that is such a future me thing to worry about. um oh, and there's green sleeves. Here's green sleeves on the rotation. So um let's see, so here we go. So when did you first start illustrating stories? What's something that inspired you? Well, if we're talking about um well, I've always been interested in prose in general. I mean, that's kind of where I started. I didn't really get into comics until later. I was a late comics bloomer, and so novels was always my thing. I remember Meredith, a friend of ours who passed at the beginning of the year. Still miss her, by the way. She had said that she was surprised how, like, for a comic book person, how I thought, how my thinking was very much like a novelist. And and it's because of that, because that's more my background. um in terms of prose writing. It's not like I've written novels before or whatnot, but I've always dabbled in prose, like, like writing fanfic and stuff like that. Yes, I wrote fanfic. And so when I was putting together EGORAVEN seriously, well, the first time, this idea for doing an illustrated prose story technically came first. While I was kind of percolating the comic book version, portion of the story, I came up with the idea of doing this prequel, which happens 20 years before the main comic book series. But I didn't want to do it as a comic. So I got the idea of, let's do it as an illustrated prose story. And it's this book right here. What am I doing? I can just show it to you right here. So this is actually my first illustrated prose short story, So, like I said, this is a prequel to the main series. I can't really say if there was anything in particular, anything specific that inspired me to do this story and to do the format the way I don't think that there was like any one book that made me, I don't know, it just felt like it was something that was kind of like always natural for me to do. It's kind of like putting together the the way I like doing comics and the way I was interested in prose writing, so it just came together that way. And but for the longest time, comics was my main thing that I worked on. Only recently did I decide that I was going to go back to doing illustrated prose, but I think it was because of a more practical. It just was more practical for me because of the way my stories were unfolding. So, I have the 15/16 issues. And and what happened was that, the story, there's a lot more story that comes after that. And and it's like, I really wanted to tell these stories. But the problem was, and like for the longest time, I was really angsting about it, because if I do these stories as comics, I'm never going to finish them. It's like, I kind of hate to put it this way, but I have more years behind me than I do in front of me. Let's just put it kindly like that. So I didn't want to end up having to draw out another saga. I'm already in the middle of a saga with Tall Tales, and I didn't want to end up in the middle of another one that I might not finish. So what I realized is, like, after a lot of talking with people and whatnot, because it's like I was a little concerned that it's like, oh, if I did these as prose, would people who collected my comics be interested? And it just got to a point where I said, you know what? I can't worry about an audience. I can't worry about that. I have a story to tell, and in the end, that's the most important thing to me. And in the end, I can't worry about whether there's going to be an audience there for it or not. I mean, I'll try to cultivate one as best as I can, but in the end, it's like, again, audience of one. And then if other people like it, that's That's all frosting, you know? Um, so that's so yeah, so I in the end it's like I committed for the novel that it was going to be an illustrated novel, and I have the novel done. The novel, the first draft is finished. Um yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the important part for, I mean, because it's like, honestly, I mean, there's enough people out there who are getting who are in the creative field, who all they care about is selling the IP, and that's it. You know, it's like they really don't have a personal investment in seeing the story through other than that. And I'm just not like that, you know? So, and I do have to admit, it is freeing, you know, if I don't have to worry about selling my book. But then again, also, you know, I'm in a situation where I'm actually privileged enough to be able to think about my creative output like that. So, you know, I don't want to give anybody, you know, I don't want to mislead anybody. That's like, oh, this is what you should be doing. It's like, no, I set up my situation in a very particular way, or my situation is set up in a very particular way that I can do that. So, I don't have to worry about selling. I could just tell the story, and honestly, it I can't imagine myself doing this any other way. um so I've made the decision to do an illustrated, that everything after the 15 issues is going to be illustrated novels, because in the end it's the only way that I can get these stories out, um and still be able to do them. Let's just put it that way. I mean, it's kind of a little morbid to think about it, but um, yeah. So, so that's kind of where I'm at. So, um, it's, you know, it's going to be a couple of years to finish EGORAVEN. I'm on the schedule. I'm on the docket for 2025 to finish the 15/16 issues. I already have the first draft of the other of the Cult of the Wolf Witch novel. I can pretty much start putting together Whispers to Eros at any time. I have, you know, a bulk of the book already. It's just physically putting it together, um, and putting in the narrative pieces that ties in all the short stories in the book. Um, because that one is not necessarily a novel as much as it's a collection of short stories that are tied together by an overall narrative. So it's going to be a shorter book, um, but it's still going to be an important part of the EGORAVEN canon, the EGORAVEN storyline. Um, so that's, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. Um, yeah, so it's just like really probably what it is that once I kind of get myself ahead on issue 8, probably, that's when I'll start worrying about that book. You know, and then depending on, once, you know, it's like I start really moving along on the second draft of the other novel, of this novel, that I'll start worrying about that book. Because because like I'm really liking the idea of putting them out together. Also, kind of referencing House of Bob here. You know, Whispers to Eros is going to be an adult book. That's going to be the adult book. It's going to be pretty much EGORAVEN porn in that book. And I don't have the confidence in doing a standalone campaign with that. So if I combine it with uh the Wolf Witch book, I think it'll have a better chance. And then just continue offering it in every subsequent campaign, of course. But I think that for the one campaign, I want those two books together because I think that they will work best together. The novel makes references to things that happen in the Eros book. So I think that if I release them together in its own, together in one campaign, it will make sense narrative wise. Um, and also I think too is that, I mean, is it going to be necessary for people to read an adult book to understand the story? No, you don't. You don't actually. So at least if I do a campaign with both of these books in it, it will give people the opportunity to not get that book if they don't, if that's not the type of book that they're into, but still feel like they're supporting the campaign because they're getting the other book. Um, so yeah, it's just a lot to kind of think about, but the the foundation of those ideas is that the books are getting done anyway. Whether, however I do the campaigns, the books are getting done anyway. Um, like I said, the audience is nice. It's nice if they're there for it, but you know, the books are going to exist. There is no, well, I don't know if I can sell it, so I'm going to put this away for another more marketable project. That's not how I function. That's not how my brain functions. um oh, thank you, yes. So if you want to join along, if everyone else wants to join along, you can head on over to my website there at egoworks.com, and yeah, where you can actually read the first 5 issues of EGORAVEN in its original black and white format before I remastered it for Kickstarter. Um, I've decided that I'm going to take that down by the end of the year. So at the end of the year, I'm going to take it down and start 2023 with the full color version on a cycle, serialized on the website. So if you want to just check out the story and then kind of like compare it to how the Kickstarter versions have changed, that's, that it's the best, now is the best time to do it, but thank you for enjoying the website and following along as I ink here. um yeah, so that's pretty much what I have, it's like yeah, that I have going on. Yeah, I have a lot of uh like stories that are currently in progress, believe it or not. I have the starts, I probably have the starts of several novels, because like I said, I have these ideas in my head, these scenes, and then I write them down. I put them on, I just write them down, get them out of my head, and then the idea is that eventually I get enough of these vignettes to come together in a novel that'll make sense. And sometimes I have so many vignettes, I have several novels technically started, which is what I have. Which is what I have now. So, but at the same time, step at a time, I'm trying to pace myself. I mean, the one novel that I have ready still has there's a lot that I need to do for it. So, I don't want to get ahead of myself and accidentally trigger another panic attack because yeah, because my schedule is a little like a little like my schedule is a lot. That's what I mean. So yeah, so oh look at that. We're almost at the top of the second hour, so I'm just going to, just continue inking here. While we continue to enjoy some lovely Baroque jams, uh, courtesy of Epidemic Sound, which Facebook will, all as they always do, will flag me for and mute the video until I keep reminding them I have a subscription to Epidemic Sound. So okay, we got 5 more minutes. We got 5 more minutes. So I'm just gonna continue inking until we hit that 5 minutes. My 6 o'clock warning, because yeah, I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't get confirmation, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on another live stream later. Rob Multari is launching. Well, he launched Snowpaw, his Nightwolf spin-off book, the second issue, and he launched it today on Kickstarter. So look up Snowpaw by Rob Multari on Kickstarter, and I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be on his live stream tonight to talk about it. So yeah, so I, as much as I could continue just inking on camera, um, which I'll probably do, later. Anyway, oh, there we go. So check it out. Link is in the show notes. Oh, and in the chat. Nita just put it in the chat as well. So, yeah, so I at least need some of that time to prepare for another live stream. And I'll probably, just continue what I'm doing now on that live stream as well. Because honestly, I'm really liking this new setup. I'm actually really happy with it. And yeah, I'm probably going to, yes, we're probably going to be doing streams like this from now on, except, instead of using the other table and the second laptop, I kind of like how this consolidated everything into one space that's actually more usable for me than what I had before, than what I was using before. So really happy with that. So yeah, so let me just continue just inking. Oh, hey Joe. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I know. I'm just finishing this up, and then it's like I'm going to be ending the stream in a couple of minutes. But glad you could always make it. I know, work is always, keeping you from doing fun stuff, like hanging out over here. But I'm glad you can make it. You at least made it for the last couple of minutes. Oh, listen, you made it in time for the sermon. You made it in time. Oh, wait a minute. Do we get to end on a note? On a different note? Do we get to end on
I don't know who it is, but it probably is for Hogo Guys. I asked my friend Joe, I asked my friend Jake. They said it was for Hogo Guys.
Haven't heard that in a while. Yeah, exactly. You just made it. Actually, you just made it for me to pretty much tie everything up here. So this is the page that I was currently working on. I just put aside where did I put it? The cover that we just the sketch cover that we finished today. As well, one of the rare moments where I get to finish a piece of artwork on the stream, and I was able to start inking this page for an EGORAVEN short story for a future campaign. So yay! So yes, thank you, Jake and Joe, for showing up and allowing me the opportunity to play that always evergreen clip. So let's see. So here we are at the top of the second hour. So there you have it. We get to try out my new. I got to try out my new setup. We get to do, so now it's like I get to slide my camera over to its regular position, and it's like it's very easy for me to maneuver stuff. So I would have to say I think that this new layout is a success. I'm going to be, definitely going to be keeping it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep it for sure, until, of course, other changes happen. But there we go. There. So let's push my microphone out of the way. Also, I hope that that the sound didn't change too dramatically when I went to change to a desk, because on the last episode, I realized that by using this desk, because the way my microphone was set up, it sounded echoey because now I wasn't in front of the microphone, because I technically had my back to it on the last episode, so it sounded kind of echoey. Hopefully that didn't happen with this, because I'm technically, look, this office is the size of a postage stamp, but distance is still an issue. I mean, for certain things. I mean, that's just how it goes, right? So here we are, end of the show. Thank you so much for everybody who joined me. Thank you everybody in the chat. Jake, Joe, Nita, Nicholas, all, everybody. Look, I saw you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. I also see you, 5 people watching me right now from regions beyond. Thank you so much for joining me. Even if you didn't last the 2 hours, if you just made it in the last, hour or whatnot, that's fine. It's like, as long as we're having fun together, that's cool. So if you're interested more in if you're interested in seeing more of my work and whatnot, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, where you can find links to all of my social media sites. But these are my main ones here. But I mostly post to Facebook. If you want to see updates and current work in progress and all that stuff. And like I said, I suck at the friend requests. I keep at maintaining that. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, just go ahead and follow me on Facebook. You don't have to send a friend request. All my posts are open. You're not missing anything. You're not missing any updates, any new artwork. It's all there for you to enjoy. So yeah. But if you want to try your luck at sending me a friend request, just look. Like I said, I stink at it. I think Nita, I had her all waiting for a friend request for 2 years. So I mean, it's like, there you go. That's just how I am. So Facebook. And also, don't forget that you can check out more of my previous. You can check out my previous videos of the live streams of House of Bob, and you can videos on how I do my artwork here. If you're watching me on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which, like I said, also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I go live, or Nita goes live, or any of our shows go live. And like I said before, you can read the first 5 issues of EGORAVEN, Air the First Unicorn, in its original black and white format. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. And don't forget to sign up for my monthly newsletter. Here we go. But sometimes it's more than once a month, though, just to give you a heads up. But you get free PDFs, free comic PDFs to try out, just for signing up and keeping updated with all of my campaigns and all of my projects. Because, like I said, there's a ton of stuff, coming up, and I don't want anybody to miss anything. So, again, thank you so much for joining me. So I'm tired, so I'm going to, go nosh on something, get ready for Rob's live stream, if it turns out that we actually are getting invites to that. So you can join. Go to Rob Multari's Nightwolf Facebook page. I'm sure that there will be a link to that live stream on his page as well. So if you haven't had enough of me, yet, you can certainly get enough of me on at 8:00 on the Nightwolf on the Snowpaw launch party. So again, thank you everybody for joining me, and I'll see everybody later. Thank you so much.
You really want to know my process?
Absolutely.
Usually starts with